Hi, today we're going to go over one of the darker cards of the tarot and we're going to talk about the Three of Swords. So I want to do this mini series on the darker cards within the tarot, which are dark cards that look a little darker, that can look a little scary, or for one, I'm going to talk about two cards that I personally get confused a lot. That will be the next video. So today we're going to talk about the Three of Swords, because what we see here is a heart being pierced with three swords. Now, in a lot of depictions, the heart will also be bleeding, but that is not the case in this one. This is the original Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck that I got this card from. So keywords that come with the Three of Swords are heartbreak, loss, rejection, feeling lonely, being hurt, and being in emotional pain. So those are all things that sound really, really sad, which is why I am calling it one of the darker cards in the tarot. But when you get it in reverse, keywords that, or the card means that you are in recovery from previous pain, that you are healing, that you're working on forgiveness, or that forgiveness is being encouraged, as well as the need to release the past. So I'm also going to go over the astrological as well as the numerology and the elements of the card, because there are so many layers to the tarot. It's more than just the image and the keywords that are associated with the card. The tarot and astrology, are very closely, I want to say related, but they relate to each other, if that makes sense. So I already talked about with the major arcana that every major arcana card is connected to either a zodiac sign or a planet. Now, when it comes to the minor arcana, we have a planet in a certain sign. So astrology for the Three of Swords is Saturn in Libra. So to interpret this card in an astrological way, we first look at Saturn, which is the planet of restrictions, limitations, and responsibility, and it symbolizes the ethic of hard work. And then we look at Libra, where we think of harmony, balance, peace, and Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and pleasure. So knowing that and looking at the card, we can see that there is a limit to the amount of love that you are receiving in this particular situation or in this particular spread. And there is a responsibility to be taken on your own part to get back your own balance and peace. That is sort of how I see this. When I get this card in a reading, I definitely see it as there being emotional pain and being in recovery as well, having lost something, or just being in emotional pain in general, being hurt. And when I see that, I always want to immediately go to the importance of healing as well as forgiveness, whether that is forgiveness for yourself or for the other person, to kind of move on from this. So when we look at numerology, we have the 3 from the Three of Swords, and we have the Suit of Swords, which is associated with the element of air. So mental capacity, intelligence, communication, etc. So in tarot, the number 3 is an expression of the creative power of life itself. So though there is a lot of potential for creativity, there is a lack of focus within this card. So this makes sense for this card because there needs to be a shift in focus on your part. So instead of focusing on the hurt that you are going through, you are encouraged to look at the potential that surrounds you, because it encourages you to create a new way of thinking. Now I want to show you this card in, first of all, the Modern Witch tarot deck, which is basically a dupe for this card. Because we can also see the clouds here. This is more of a mustardy color where there is more gray here, and there is, like, it's not blood, but it's like ink seeping out of it, so it's a little bit more dramatic than the original Rider-Waite-Smith one. And then here we have from the Lightseers tarot, you see there being strings being pulled at this heart. The heart has already been broken and trying to be stitched together, and then it's trying to break again. And you can see here that she's very much hurt. You have the Three of Swords here on her arm, and you can tell that she is in a lot of pain that she is in surroundings that are not doing her well at all. So the first step that she needs to take is to get out of these surroundings and to leave this place behind so she can focus on healing herself. That is sort of how I see this specific card. Now I also want to look at two cards that have very different interpretations. So I here have from the Magical Dogs Tarot the Three of Sky, which is also the Three of Swords. And here we have three dogs. Let me actually zoom you. Now I think you can see pretty clearly. We have three dogs that are all divided by this river, and they are definitely, I don't want to say they are in pain, but they are struggling because they clearly want to meet up. This dog here is howling, it is storming, the river or the creek or whatever is flowing very harshly, but the situation is not dire. They are just sort of, they don't know how to get out of this certain situation, but if they just keep their head up and try to, because we do have the air suit, the element of air, have to think clearly. When you get that mental clarity, then you can find a solution to actually get out of here. We also here have the Three of Voices. I really like in this deck how the minor arcana are set up, because you can get a deeper and different level of understanding of these cards, of the suits. So when it comes to voices, of course, we have the element of air. So with voices, I also feel thoughts. So the Three of Thoughts almost. There are these thoughts, as you can see here, intruding in their mind, and they are almost feeling very anxious, and they are very emotional, and they're clearly not doing well, maybe even feeling lonely because there doesn't really seem to be anybody around. You have the two eyes here. This eye is crying, this one is dry. So you can almost see that you can go from the crying to drying your eyes, stand up and finding a way out of here. And that a lot of the pain that they are experiencing is inside of their head, because even though it's emotional pain, it's still the Suit of Swords, which is air, which is mental capacity, mentality, mental, I would love to hear your interpretations of the Three of Swords in the comments down below, so we can all learn from each other. Please let me know how you are liking these shorter videos on the cards, on the darker cards of the tarot. This is something that I definitely would have loved to have when I was first starting out with my tarot practice. I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more videos on darker cards of the tarot. Let me know in the comments down below if you can guess which ones I'm gonna do. So if you want to book a personal one-on-one tarot reading with me, you can do so through the links in the description box below. If you want to see more videos on tarot, definitely subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.